for today, Lord. I just pray that you use me in your way, God, that take away any anxiety and any fear, Lord, and just let these be your words, God. If there's anything that comes from my mouth that is not of you, Lord, I just pray that you shut my mouth. And I'm just your willing vessel, God, to be open to used by you. And I thank you, Lord, for this ability. And just let this soak into our hearts, God. In your son's name I pray. Amen. Okay, so God's been working on my heart for a long time. When Tammy came to me and asked me to speak, it took a couple weeks of praying about it because I was like, I don't know. What am I going to say? Like, what do I have to say? I always wanted to have it all together. I wanted everything to be fixed. I wanted my picture of what I wanted my life to be as a saved Christian to look like before I spoke to anybody about it. And God said, no, you need to do it now. Because in the middle of your struggle and in the middle of your mess is where your message is. And when people can see you walking through the trials, you're not alone in your trials. So that's where I came to these 8 things, because since Thrive last year, this is my journal since Thrive, these are some of the things he's worked on in me. And he's like, I want you to speak from your heart, speak from the things I've been working on in you. And I was like, wait, no, that's like deep stuff. Like, I don't really want to tell anybody all that. And he's like, no, it needs to be said, because in the separation, in the feeling like we're alone in these struggles, we're alone in these things, and we're not. So what I did was, you'll have to bear with me because I'm going to be like going back and forth in my journal, pulling from the different things from my own writing. So instead of like rewriting it, I just kind of, it's a little more raw to get my pure writing. So number 1, it came from, I think it was at Stronger. One of our speakers really spoke to me. Her name was Tammy Young, and it was talking about breaking the cycles of your life and the things we do and how we get stuck in, typo, struggler, sorry, didn't let my daughter proofread it. How we get stuck in the struggle of where we are and the different glasses that we put on before we go into anything in life. In my notes, if you watch me, I kind of doodle a little bit. In my glasses, it was different things, past hurts, self-hate, I'm not valuable, doubt, perfectionism, not being good enough. They don't need me. I'm not smart enough. My abuse makes me unworthy. And those were some of the things that I tend to get stuck in the midst of everything. And that leads me to number 2. I would look to others around me for the answer. You know, yes, it's good to call on a mentor, call on my mom a lot. But I needed to be alone. I needed to look up for the answers instead of looking out. There was many people I advised that I shouldn't have advised before I talked to Jesus about it. I know I'm not alone in that. Many people it's like, oh no, I've done that before. You know, you live and you learn. That's part of the journey, right? And then number 3, give as much grace as I've been given. Many times as moms groups, we look around and we make that what stinks face, you know, about how other people are living or how they're raising their kids. And God really softened my heart to be like, remember where you came from. Don't forget the grace I gave you when I pulled you out of that pit. You know, and I was like, oh, you're so right, you know, just to keep me in check before I go and look at someone else. Like, you know, we've all gotten those faces from people, right? Usually in public, or, you know, when I'm disciplining my kid or something, or whenever they're like, oh, she's your daughter? What age did you have her? You know, and they start like, you know, it's like, don't, you know, so I'm like, I don't want to be that person, because we've all had those people. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to stop here because God wanted me to share this dream that I had and get through it. He gives me pictures a lot, and it seems strange because I'm like, why are you giving me this picture? But it's exactly what I need at the time. So I'm gonna close my eyes so I can see it, so I can describe it. So bear with me, because it's a little weird. It was a dream. I had woken up, and I was in a sandy pit, and it was like sinking sand, and I was stuck, and I couldn't move. And it was like this more I tried to fight, the deeper I became. And by the time I knew it, I was up to my shoulders. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't fight anymore. I was tired. And so I finally reached my hand up, and I was like, God, help me. And God showed me. That was November 2011. And I grabbed God's hand, and I wouldn't let go. And I wanted it to be over. I wanted it to be quick. And I wanted him to pull me out of that sand. But it took a while. And I slowly lifted up out of the sand. And I was like, God, we got this. I got this. And you know what? It brought back all of that I had been through. Everything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of this sand. I'm going to make better choices. And there it was, year 2, year 3. And I was like, oh, why am I still in the sand? And then by then, it was a calf. And I was like, okay, we're almost there. We're coming into year 6, now year 7. And the rain started. And I was like, really, God, like, it's gonna rain now? And he was like, no, it's good. The storm isn't a bad thing. You know, I feel like I've been walking through the storm 7 years now. And it just began to rinse over me. And all this sand was washed away. And then finally, before I knew it, because I was looking up at him and I wasn't distracted, I was clean. I didn't have any sand on me anymore. And he pulled me over and he let me go. And by then I was just exhausted and I just collapsed. I was like in a little like Jesus bubble, as I call it, when I get in praise, and I just like knock everything out. And he was like, that was these last few years. You've been in this time of a rest. You know, I've been growing you. I've been in that time that you've made time for me, in that stillness. I have been cleansing you. I've been growing you. You don't see it because you're not standing up yet. And then I stood up. Granted, it was still raining. And this was all a picture. Like, I wish I could like make a movie of it. And I stood up, and the rain turned to blood, and it was bright red. And I was like, oh my goodness, like is this like a bad scary movie? But it wasn't. It was that blood of Jesus. And he was like, come back to me. Come back with that fresh coating. And I was like, okay, God, I'm yours. You know, do with me what you want. And then my arms parted, the blood, like a curtain, like you would a shower curtain. Hey, Mom, you in there? And then it was like all of the inside. There was still hurts. There was still stuff I needed to deal with. Like, I wasn't there yet. I hadn't allowed him in certain areas of my life. Does that make sense? There was different things. He was like, okay, it's time to let me in. Let that blood in to race through those hurts that I know are there. You know, you think you've dealt with them, but you really haven't. And I was like, okay, God, you know, and it was huge. Like, as I was writing it out, I was like, wow, like, this is amazing. And so whenever he was like, I want you to tell that, I was like, okay, they're gonna think I'm absolutely crazy. Like, raining blood, this is crazy. But that spoke to me so much about my struggle, about how these last 7 years have really purified and rinsed that sand off of me. And even through that walk, although it was really hard, the different things that I had to do and still doing. You know, when he pulled out, a lot of it was during the Stronger conference that he pulled out some of those hidden things that were exposed through the blood to allow him in. And then I'm gonna go on to number 4, because this is one that really spoke to me at Stronger, about making excuses. And it was hard to even make it to Stronger. Anyone, I know I'm kind of new in this, but getting there is half the battle, right? And so all the different things I had to walk through to get there. And then I'm sitting in this classroom, and she said, okay, I want you to write on a piece of paper all of the excuses you were making in order to get here. And I'm like, So I wrote out quite a bit, and I'm glad she didn't call me to say it in front of everybody that I didn't know, because I was like, this is kind of showing like where my mind was and the different things I was struggling with just to make it there. Mine was not enough money for food. With kids, there's never enough money, right? It's not going to help. Like, there's no help for me. Like, I'm not going to grow. Like, I wasn't in a very good spot. You don't belong. You know, there's this group and that group. You're just kind of weird. That's what the enemy was telling me. I should be spending more time with my husband and kids. Anytime we go away for a conference or anything, it was like, he's actually off to take care of the kids. Like, I should be spending time with them, right? No, we need to take time for us too. You're not a leader. It was a leadership conference. I was like, I'm not really a leader. Like, I'm just one of the ladies. Like, why go to the conference? You're not a leader. You won't make a difference if you're there or not. And have you ever told you that? Yes. Well, it was big, because I was like, he had been battling with me throughout the last year of, don't matter if you go to church. No one knows you're there. You know, they won't call and check up on you. They won't, you know, it doesn't matter. But God knew I needed to be at this conference. And none of these excuses mattered. Once I got there and fought to get there, it made all of the difference. And there's been so many things. I mean, the speaker that spoke on that actually went into more details about, you know, how we make excuses for everything. That if you want, when you stand up and say, God, use me, but then he goes to use you, and you're like, oh, you know, I can't do it this time, or I can't do that, or I'm too tired, or, you know, we make up the excuses too. So it was a really good parallel. I kind of already went into the allowing God in, and that was the blood. You know, I really had to let him in. It was actually during one of Pastor Boone's sermon back in March that I was taking notes, and I'll read the Psalms later. I've got up here to pass out 118 that really spoke to me. It was like, he won't force himself in. You have to let him in. And many times I would push him away. I would push people away that were trying to help me, you know. And Mom knows many times she would come to me and try to help me, and I'd push her away again and again. But God used it, you know. She would leave scriptures and leave me notes that affected me later on. Number 6, taking every thought captive. That's kind of part of the excuses, you know, to think about where those voices are coming from. Are those really from God? Or is it, you know, the enemy just trying to make excuses for you to not get you there? Because how many times have you got there and be like, oh, I knew I needed this? You know, Sienna and I will call each other up. I'm like, okay, what's happening today? Because we know God's ready to move. So we knew something was going to happen. She put in this one, make your mind up. It was a speaker also at Stronger, Miss Lisa Shaw. Keep yourself in check. Find that accountability person to run these thoughts by. You know, you're not alone in it. Many times I get lost in my thoughts, and I deal with the anxiety, and I'll pull away from people, and I'll soak into depression. And it's not right. You know I do it. I catch myself. I'll pull other people, you know, like, you know, you're not supposed to be acting like that. You know, you're not supposed to be doing that. Well, God was like, you got to catch yourself when you're doing it too. You know, so it was really looking in the mirror like, oh, okay, yeah, I got to deal with that. And then number 7, if you want it, put in the work. If you want the results, you got to put in the work. Mama always said, if you don't like where you are, make changes. You are exactly where you choose to be. I've heard it again and again and again till it was inbred in my mind. And even through my struggles, through my running from God, through my drinking, through the divorce, everything. Mom was like, you have to reflect. Where are you? Do you like it? Well, then you need to make changes. and it was taking that responsibility for yourself, for your actions. No one was going to do it for me unless I wanted it. And there's many of my friends that are struggling with the same addictions that I've overcome. And I'm like, unless you want it, you're not going to do it. No one's going to do it for you. They're not going to knock that drink out of your hand, and that wasn't me. And I'm still growing in it because it's not easy. It's really hard. On most days you're going to quit. Comes eating healthy, working out, you got to go do it when you don't want to. Well, when it comes to living for God, you got to do it when you don't want to. You need to praise when you don't feel like it. You need to pray when you want to quit, because it's when the breakthroughs come, and that's been a lot of mine. And there's moments where I'll call mom and I'm like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I just need to stay for a couple days just to get away from everything. She's like, no, you need to stay where you are, go pray with your husband and get over it. She knows that we all need those people in our life to not be afraid. And that's God, because there was a time where mom wouldn't give me good advice because she was scared I would leave again. Because every time she told me what God wanted her to tell me, I would leave. Now it's not like that. God can use her as a mentor to me, and it's such a blessing because I know I can call her and she won't tell me what I want to hear. She'll tell me what I need to hear. And we all need that. We have so many amazing women around us that we can call on, that love us, that pray for us. That we just need to get over the number 8, our imperfections, and to know we're not perfect. My thing was, if I call on them, they know I don't have it all together. They're never going to ask me to come help them, But in that, I'm in it too. Like, I'm struggling with this. It binds us together. And I just feel like there's so much strength in the bonding of the imperfections. A lot of that came from my abuse. As long as I made it look like everything was okay, it was okay, right? Like, no one would know what was really going on behind closed doors. No one would really know what was going on inside of me, the battles that I faced every day, the lies I would have to keep up. Because if the truth came out, like, those floodgates were going to open, and like, oh my goodness, then everything would, do what it did. And even after I came to the Lord, you deal with that. If I'm not wearing the right thing, if I'm not, saying the right thing, that perfect persona, the being on time so you still have wet hair, that I didn't get my nails done because I ran out of time, but I made it anyway. Those little things that we can encourage each other. I feel like you're not alone in this, was my big thing. Now I'm going to read, as I close, my journal writing. I think Sienna was actually there with me on the beach that sunrise. It was the Saturday sunrise of Thrive. It was October 6th, and we really didn't want to get up. It was our second sunrise, and it was like, I could really use to sleep in. But knowing we were coming back to our crazy lives, I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. And God just really brought me up and made me reflect exactly what I've been through and where I was now compared to being stuck in that sandy pit. He had already given me the vision, the dream back before Thrive. So he's just good like that. So here's my journal. It was the sunrise reflection. It's hard to describe what last night was. In the moment it felt like walking into the room. Your presence was so heavy. I came in anticipating to not leave the same, but the hurts that you healed can never be explained. This is why I write, because I can't write like this. We know this is Jesus. I was able to block everything out in the room and focus on you. Our speaker was so powerful, speaking life into us. After the speaker asked for prayer, I didn't go up, but I spent time with you anyways. It wasn't anyone that needed to pray for me. It was just me and you time. As I sit and watch the sunrise and I look back at the last year through my old Thrive notebook and how much I've grown since then, I'm in awe of your goodness and favor. What your blessings have surrounded my heartache and pain. Your joy surpassed any sorrow. At the beginning of 2008, you gave me the word restore and restoration. And I am expecting just that to come through my many battles I have ahead with no court date set yet. But I am so much more. You have done so much more for me. You've restored my joy. You've restored my confidence. You've restored my love life. You've restored my ability to be still. You've restored my worth and overall growing me into the woman I want to be. As I look in the mirror today, I love me. Never done that before. Flaws and all my curves, all my curls, just the way you made me. I am powerful in you. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am mighty. My past doesn't define me. It only refined me. Like a diamond, I have been through the rough. I've been through that fire that would incinerate most, but instead it purified me. It made me who you want me to be, the strong woman of God I am today. I have faced so many of my fears that used to control my every thought, control my every action, and my every reaction. Now I know I have power in you, Jesus, to take every thought captive, not to let the world overwhelm me, to keep my eyes on you, to allow his peace to calm my anxious heart. I can't believe I just read that. But this is what, has helped my journey, because this time with God, that's his words, because I don't write like that. I don't English very well. I gave that to my daughter. But we're not alone in this. That worthlessness, that feeling flawed, not good enough, we're all in it. I'm going to have Joel pass out this Psalms. Like I said, Pastor put it out in March. I think it was actually one of his night sermons, which I actually one that loves, because that's where my growth happened, was in a night service. But there wasn't a lot of people. It was just kind of me and God, and I would leave different. It was when I didn't have all the distractions of the Sunday morning of what I'm wearing or whether I'm going to cry off my makeup. It was where I could get along with God, and it was just beautiful. Many nights I'm tired and don't want to go, but when you go anyways, God really shows up. Oh, I think I gave her them all. No, there's one. All right. I don't know if I want to read it all, but there was just so many good things in the Psalms. You know, I remember someone saying a Psalm today keeps the enemy away, and God just really spoke to me in this Psalm. And it's the NIV 118. I finished passing them all out. Mommy, do you have a tissue? See, you always need your mom, right? And to bring one up.
They're not used.
Good. Okay, I'm going to give it a start. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Let Israel say, his love endures forever. Let the house of Aaron say, his love endures forever. Let those who fear the Lord say, his love endures forever. When hard pressed, I cried out to God. He brought me into a spacious place. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? The Lord is with me. He is my helper. I look in triumph on the enemies. Lord God, I've got enough enemies. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in humans. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. And all nations surround me. Put in the same Lord, I cut them down. They surrounded me on every side, but in the same Lord, I cut them down. They swarmed around me like bees. But they were consumed as quickly as burning thorns. In the name of the Lord, I cut them down. I pushed back and about to fall, but the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and my defense. He has become my salvation. Shouts of joy and victory resound in the tents of the righteousness. The Lord's right hand has done mighty things. The Lord's right hand is lifted high. The Lord's right hand has done mighty things. I will not die, but live, and will proclaim that the Lord has done. The Lord has chastised me severely, but he has not given me over to death. Open for me the gates of the righteousness. I will enter and give thanks to the Lord. This is the gate of the Lord, through which the righteous may enter. I will give you thanks, for you have answered me. You have become my salvation. The stone the builders rejected has become my cornerstone. The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in our eyes. The Lord has done it in this very day. Let us rejoice today and be glad. Lord, save us. Lord, grant us success. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. From the house of the Lord we bless you. The Lord is God, and he has become his light shine on us. He brought in hand, joint in festive procession up to the thorns to the altar. You are my God, and I will praise you. You are my God, and I will exalt you. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, and his love endures forever. Amen. There was just so many things in that as I was just, when you meditate on it, like I was always scared of the scripture because I couldn't understand it. Like I always felt dumb when I read it, really. And just over the last few years, I've come to love it. Because as I get into it and there's different things, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was him, So I just wanted to send this home with everybody. It speaks to me a little different every time I read it. But thank you guys for listening. I was blessed to do this. I still can't believe God chose me to do it. But I love you, ladies. I think that's it.